So this company is not a mining company, not a cannabis company, not a tech company, and it's still really, really interesting. Hey, this is Fabi with Equity.Guru, and today I will talk briefly about a company that is using really old infrastructure that you have in your house to bring high-speed internet to really, really far off rural areas in the United States. Let's take a quick look. So Rift Valley Resources Corp, believe it or not, is not a resources company. Like I said, what they do is to bring high-speed internet to very remote places. And the link that bonds everything is their non-executive chairman, which we'll get to in a second. But first of all, let's take a look at what they do. There are two products that they're working on. One is a fixed wireless broadband networks, basically to put in fixed apparatus that stays there permanently, that provides internet to these remote areas. And the other one is QuickCom, which is a portable device that they can take to areas such as borders for border patrol, crisis areas like when there's a tornado, a natural disaster. They can go in there and provide internet for first responders, police, military, etc. Now, the thing that really struck me was that when we speak about North America only, that's a market of around 55 million people. Now, that doesn't mean that the 55 million people have zero internet access. It just means that they either don't have this access or they don't have it to an adequate level. So it's either really slow broadband or really, really expensive. So I went around and I looked for internet prices for service providers in small villages, and they pay maybe $80 for packages that were being offered, 7 to 10 years ago. Now, the technology that they utilize for this is TV white space. When I first heard of TV white space, I thought, no way, this is made up. There's no way you can use the infrastructure of TVs and have internet running through that. And the reality is, yes, you can. You can go ahead and Google it yourself. I did. I went onto YouTube. I Googled TV white space, internet, rural areas, and things of that nature. Guess what comes up as a first result? Microsoft talking about this technology and how this technology is helping people in far away areas. So this is a really neat way of using something that has been around and has worked incredibly well for decades and finding a new use for it. So with a TV set, you can pretty much bet that it's going to work 100% of the time, as long as the antenna is set up properly. With internet such as Wi-Fi connection, it's not as straightforward. Sometimes you have a couple of walls between you and the router, and so you get, really fuzzy connection, it drops, etc. So they're using something that already works very well and taking a better service for people who really need it and are probably paying too much for what they're getting. Now, the really important thing about this is that Ruralink, which is really the company that operates on the ground that is fully owned by Rift Valley Resources, is working with ARC Media. Now, ARC Media already has a huge presence and they have a very interesting JV. The most important thing to know about this is what they already have, the presence that they already have, and also the person behind both companies. And if we scroll down quickly here to their chairman, you'll see that Vern Fotheringham, he has been doing this pretty much all his life. If you go onto his LinkedIn, you will see that everything that is listed on here pretty much is broadcasting. It's TV, it's, doing this kind of service, streaming, it's TV technology, it's internet technology. That's really all he does. And because he's been very successful before, he already has infrastructure with ARC Media that marries very well into what Rift Valley is doing. As you can see here, ARC Media already owns 283 low power TV stations and TV licenses throughout the US. So you need these licenses in order to operate, which they already have. So Rift Valley is tapping into a lot of the knowledge and the infrastructure of ARC Media through this partnership. Now, Vern has been able to raise as much as $225 million whenever they IPO'd in NASDAQ. So I'd like to think that funding will not be a problem for this company. At the moment, within this JV, they're working on doing a trial run in Oklahoma. You can see one of the latest news release here that they're conducting a 2-phase pilot program in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I believe this is going on as we speak, and hopefully from that they'll be able to gauge the efficacy of this exact setup. Now, once they can get this running, you can imagine if 55 million people in the US are underserved with internet, how many do you need on a monthly basis to pay for an internet service provider for a broadband service that really gets the wheel going? Not many. Now, market cap wise, we're very, very small here, sitting at just under 2 million Canadian dollars, 26.5 million shares out. Very tight structure, very thinly traded. We can also expect this kind of company to be bringing in cash much, much faster than anything that we see in mining. So this is one to watch for sure. If the Oklahoma tests are positive and then they can expand quickly with ARC Media, this is a very unusual but very interesting stock. That's Rift Valley Resources.